I'm Benedict Collins-Rice, conductor and artistic director of the Facade Ensemble. I founded the Facade Ensemble to champion and underperform music that I've always found deeply engaging, the ensemble music of the 20th century, drawing mainly on the modernist tradition. Whilst the ensemble and I always love the works we put on, this music is sadly often dismissed as difficult. And so by carefully curating programs which are both imaginative and accessible, we have over the last 6 years proved time and time again that listening to this repertoire is a richly rewarding experience.
When I was a student at Cambridge was when I first started working with the Facade Ensemble. Benedict and I both studied music together, and in our second year he approached me with an idea to put on Judith Weir's Constellations of Scholarship. I've worked with the Facade Ensemble since then really, and done all sorts of things. We've done some works of Stravinsky, some Pett, and it's been a wonderful opportunity just to get to know repertoire that otherwise I hadn't had much experience with.
I've been singing with the Facade Ensemble since my second year at university. I love singing lieder, so when Benedict asked me to perform Berg's 7 early songs with the ensemble, I absolutely jumped at the chance.
This Schoenberg project came from a collaboration between the Facade Ensemble and pianist Pino Napolitano, who has recently commissioned a chamber reduction of the Schoenberg Piano Concerto as a means of getting more performances of this wonderful work. Obviously, this struck a chord with Facade, especially with Schoenberg, of course, being the start of musical modernism. And we were delighted to tour this programme to the Sheldonian Theatre in Oxford, Cadogan Hall, London, and West Road Concert Hall in Cambridge. The concerto reduction is for the same ensemble as Schoenberg's first chamber symphony. In fact, in pairing the concerto and the chamber symphony, it became clear that whilst at opposite ends of his compositional output, they were both unified by Schoenberg's ability to build and carry you through large-scale musical shapes from relatively unassuming start points. Both works telescope traditionally multi-movement form into a single gripping and well-paced narrative, which is propelled by the wonderful variety of Schoenberg's motifs, rich with expressivity, colour and character. It was interesting that by reducing the forces of the Schoenberg Piano Concerto and making it for a chamber orchestra, it swung the focus away from Schoenberg's later American soundscape and took him out of Hollywood and put him back in Vienna with the earlier, more expressionistic sound world that he was working with at that time.
Working with Facade Ensemble was a great experience. An ensemble of very motivated musicians in a very warm and welcoming atmosphere, led by a super competent conductor. I had already performed the chamber piano concerto in the full orchestra version with the Liepājas Symphony Orchestra. And I've always thought this is a truly wonderful piece which deserves to be heard more. And this is why I commissioned a reduced version for chamber orchestra, which is easier to tour and to present to the public. And then Facade Ensemble themselves, they proposed this program, which I found really interesting and well put together.
This repertoire gave the Facade Ensemble the opportunity to expand to almost 20 musicians and revel in a wonderfully unique second Viennese soundscape that has as many contrabassoons as first violins and even includes a harmonium. Schoenberg writes that the chamber symphony is for 15 solo players, and this sense of clarity and individuality of expression is what brings a real vitality to this music. Whilst there is no brass or percussion section, no one could hear the unstoppable momentum towards the powerful climaxes of this program and claim to be underwhelmed. The ensemble has a core of 8 or so instrumentalists and singers, but one of its strengths is its versatility, enabling us to perform music outside the scope of a lot of chamber ensembles.
One of the things I've really enjoyed about getting to know the Lieder Waldtauber is that it feels like Lieder to me. It really does feel like intimate chamber music. Even though it comes from a gigantic piece from Lieder, there's a real sense that the individual interplay with all the instruments and the voice is very much a chamber work. And that's one of the great things about the music that I've done with the Facade Ensemble. You always feel that everybody is a soloist to some extent, that the number of people on the stage are all there for their very own intimate connection to the music, which is fantastic.
Including the Berg songs and the Song of the Wood Dove from Lieder in this program, we found worked really well in performance. Reinforcing, as their arresting renditions did, this music's ability to create atmosphere, drama, and compelling narrative. Given that Schoenberg once wistfully hoped that one day postmen would whistle his music, this program makes clear his rarely commented on gift for melodic lines which he weaves through these works. Whether it was the symphony's dance-like motifs or soulful slow music, or the sophisticated waltz theme that opens the concerto, at the end of rehearsals you could usually hear someone humming the tunes. And this infectious enthusiasm for this music is absolutely what Facade is all about.